Mr. Scott Campbell. Marketing type stuff.
Not sort of, well,
Sort of.
sort of, in that way.
Oh, it's in the front here.
I'm just going to move this to the side actually, so I'm going to use this a bit. If anyone see me try to write left-handed, don't know this is a good idea to move that. So hi, welcome. Now, quite well obviously being the Sussex Group, and I come from Essex, I'm the Essex Group. A lot of you won't know anything about it, which is cool. But this is basically me, so I'm an inspirational marketing mentor. And my genius is that I make a difference. And where it's evolved a little bit is I inspire other people to make a difference as well. And I'm going to share a few things just about me to give you, so you've got some background on me, but very short phrase of things. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about quite an important part of the work I do with clients, which is around creating a client vision for them. And explain in the time what I mean by client vision. So first of all, I'm a marketing mentor and marketing strategy specialist. Over 28 years experience. I know, Stuart, I only look 21, but I know that's... I did start in a marketing assistant when I was 16. I've managed 7 multi-million-pound businesses in my time. I've been instrumental in adding over £30 million worth of turnover to businesses that I work with. And creator of the 1 Month Financial Goal Journal, and now founder of the Positive Vibes Place. So that's briefly about it. To give you some context of kind of what I do in my work, I thought it's a good idea. I did this at a workshop recently, and actually, this is kind of my current activities, but to give you a quick overview of it. So, Next Gear Partners is a management consultancy business, and I'm a marketing director for them. The business on fire is I'm a partner with 3 other partners, and we're 360-degree outsourced marketing and paid on results. It's a very unique type of marketing where we go in with businesses and we get paid on the actual results of the marketing. It's a bit like what we tell us, the Dragon's Den, but with services rather than with money. And we're very selective who we work with because of that basis. And then my main business, I suppose, which is affecting people's lives, which is me, which is one-to-one mentoring, marketing mentoring, my 1 Month Financial Goal Journal, and my Achieve Anything program, which is a 6-month program to achieve anything you want in your business. And just at the visitors, are you all business owners? Or? Yeah. And Positive Vibes Place, which is the latest one. So more people know about it, but as you know in BCOL, only 2 people knew about it in BCOL. And this is something that an idea that I had for about 3 years ago actually, and now really put it into, while I was on holiday, I saw something remind me of it, and my wife said, you need to do something with that before you're always telling other people to go and dream big and all that, and just do it. So now you need to do something about it before you, either someone else does it before you, or you regret it. And so I spent a day on the beach with my laptop and all my business plans and stuff like that, and get it there. And that's really taking traction quickly. And it's about a cafe and a business hub in one. So before we go to the main things, Dave, you started this with 5 things you want to know about me, didn't you, or something? Or someone started that here, I think.
That would be me.
Was it you?
No one else.
So someone we might come back to, but 5 things you want to know about me.
What's the mistake you regret most making?
Nice.
Straight out.
Time's up in it, Jill.
That's cruel.
Mistake I most regret.
Yeah. Do you want an easy one to start with? What's your name?
Scott Campbell.
I was thinking, where did you go on holiday last year? I thought it was too simple.
What else? 4 others.
What is the one thing that small businesses, stroke charities should do for their marketing that they're not doing?
Okay, well that's easy. I'll answer that because that's what we're going to be talking about today. Client vision.
That's not about him.
That's not about me.
You want about you?
Yeah.
What's the biggest financial risk you've taken in business?
I think I'm doing it at the moment. That's the problem with that one.
That might fit with the first one, actually, mightn't
Who's your
I've got a few quick fire ones. It's what's your mother's maiden name?
What's your security card number?
Any of the collaborators that think they know me? It's only always wanted to
Paige has
know.
got a question.
No, Paige has been childish today. He's not.
Yeah,
Is that too much sugar?
let him try.
Yeah, go on, Paige.
So who's your first girlfriend?
First for girlfriend. There's a
Can you
story
remember
behind that as
that
well.
It's a Paul.
You know her, Paige?
I know her.
Ooh.
Married to that age.
One more. How did you get involved in marketing? How did you start your career path?
This is 5, doesn't it?
Yeah, got one more to go.
One more.
Yeah, go on, Jerry.
Jerry's got one. Jerry's got one.
Jerry.
What would you do if you lost everything?
That's easy. Been there, done that.
Got the
That leaves
t-shirt.
number one at all.
No. Simple, Jerry. What I'm doing now. Actually, I'll answer that one first. Because would you mind knowing been known? Was that after before you joined?
I think I did see you. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't know me at home. I went to, everyone there was better than you. I went to quite a personal story, so I've been there and done that 5 years ago. And the first thing I did, I suppose, really, one, I learned a hell of a lot about myself and the people around me. I learned I had amazing resilience that I didn't know I had, really. I learned I didn't need my family, which is a big part of it. Not my immediate family, my wife and everything, but the actual, even my parents and all my close, what you think of close family. There's an interesting business thing that I took, which actually ties in well with what we're going to be talking about today, because one of the things I decided was I was not going to have a transactional relationship with my clients, because there's a lot of personal tragedies and I lost my business just went like that. And it's because all my relationship with my clients was transactional. I decided it wasn't going to be transactional. And I wasn't going to be chasing the money anymore, which will align what we're going to be talking about. So what I'm doing now, really. So that's that one. Just trying all these in some sort of order. Right. Right, involved in marketing. Actually, first girlfriend come just before that, actually, a little bit. My first girlfriend was a girl called Jenny Hawkes. Right, and the interesting thing about that was that, that very recently, I was at a networking event, a BRX networking event, and the guy there, one of the other guys there said, who's a will probate, I mean, he said, oh, we do a strategy session, come back to my offices. We went back to his office, which was shared offices, and there's a receptionist there, and the virtual PA and all that looked after all the offices. I walked in, and it was Jenny Hawkes.
We're looking her up on Facebook as you speak.
You know how old you are. You know when you see your first girlfriend years later and you think, nah.
We know who she is and we know where she works.
That might be her regret more than mine. Hopefully. Involved in marketing was quite an accident, actually. At 16, but actually a couple of weeks before my 16th birthday, because I was born in July, I was the youngest one in my class by a long way. So a couple of weeks before my 16th birthday, I finished all my exams and everything, and I was due to go to the sixth form, or a college place I had. And I decided that actually I hated school. I don't really, why am I going to spend another year or 2 years in it? And to the real displeasure of my parents, I went and got a job as a literally first job. I went for an interview first of all in NatWest Bank in London. And when I got into the room with all the other interviewees, I realised I was a bit out of my depth. I overshot that one a little bit, what I thought I could do. But then after that, there was a marketing assistant job, and I thought it was quite interesting. Not many people could use computers them days, and that was their only criteria. Are you young and can use a computer? Because we don't know how to use this thing. We spent loads of money on putting the corner. And that was it. So that's how I got involved in marketing. And then after that, in sales and business and everything, then come back to it. Actually, the biggest financial risk, so this goes in line with your answer to your one, Jerry, a little bit. because my biggest financial risk was not actually money I put in. It was when I had lost everything and I made that decision I wasn't going to chase the money. Does that make sense? That was my biggest financial, because I really needed the money. We needed the money. You know, we went from a 5-bedroom detached house, you know, with 2 kids, pregnant wife who was really ill, a cat, 2 guinea pigs, you know, and we was in a 1-bedroom bed set, and to go from there and go, I'm not going to chase the money, was actually probably the biggest financial risk I took in my life.
You kept the cat.
I'm reaping rewards endlessly for that now.
Bravo.
And you kept the cat.
No regrets. Done a lot of things wrong. Made a few bad decisions over the time. But do you know what? I wouldn't be the person I am today if I don't do it. So I have no regrets. I know it sounds really corny, but I don't. There's a lot of things I wish I'd done this, done that. But at the end of the day, I've got a lovely wife, I've got a lovely family, you know, my 3 kids. My cat's still with us. No regrets, really, honestly. I suppose the only biggest regret I suppose I have is that
It's Jenny in reception.
no, is my FTO that I sold. I wish I kept that.
Oh.
It's still the best car I ever had. So, but it was in the right state because I decided that I was going to redo it. And I'd already rebuilt it and restored it once. And then my wife really questioned why am I doing that again, and then I just sold it and I regret it. Because the one I had turned out to be one of only 3 that was outside of Japan, the model it was. And I know the fact that the guy that bought it off me scrapped it, literally. So, but that's my biggest regret. Other than that,
Move on, it's only
Move
Carl.
on.
This guy's in tears here.
Client vision. And I want to give you some context for this. I firmly believe, we're probably the sort of crowd that we get in big collaboration are saying that we all understand about vision and mission statement. Yeah. And but I firmly believe when I went through a process of doing my vision and mission statement for myself, that afterwards it didn't sync with me well, and I firmly believe that there's a client vision. And what I mean by this is there's 3 visions that we split up. And my client vision, I'm going to go back to that, I'm not going to leave you with that, I'm going to go back to explain that more. Well, my client vision is that I inspire business owners to achieve anything they want through developing a success mindset and implementing effective marketing strategies. And we're going to break that up in a minute and come back to it, but that's my client vision. And if we go back to it, client vision, it's all about my clients. When you see most vision statements from businesses, and I know we've got an accountant in the room, Chris, so I apologise, but accounting firms and HR ones seem to be the worst industries at it. But how many of them just say about, our vision is we want to be the biggest accountancy firm in the UK? HR. And at the end of the day, no one cares, no one gives a shit. They care about it. I don't care. I don't go to an accountancy firm and then see they want to be the biggest accountancy firm in the UK and think, great, that's who I want to go and be with. And especially today, in today's world of marketing, where it's not, you can't do me marketing anymore. Look at me, I'm great, you know, broadcast a message, you just can't do that anymore. So when you see these visions, it's all about them. Now, what I do believe is that you still need your client vision that you lead with. Now that bit about being the biggest accountancy firm in the UK, that's fine as a vision, but it very much sits in what I call a business vision. So your business vision should be about what you want your business to achieve. You know, what sort of targets you want it. Do you want it to be a £500,000 business? Do you need it to turn over a £3 million business? But that's an internal message between you and your team. If it's just you on your own, that's your own targets, but you don't share that with other people. Your clients don't want to know about, oh, I want to be, you know, a £1 million company, I want to be a 6-figure business. They just don't care. We don't care when we talk about it. What we care about is the client vision, and that's why For me, it's about leading with that client vision. It's all about the clients. And that's the biggest decision I made when I lost everything, was that I wanted to do everything for my clients. That every conversation, every bit of content that I put out is in line with that client vision. And then the business vision is them internal targets. So we've got internal targets and every business has them, but your ideal client is not interested in that at all. But most vision statements, when you look at them, they're all about how they want to grow their business, what they want to do, not what they do for the clients.
The point you're making is that if you're successful in fulfilling your client's vision, you will, by default, build your business.
Don't get you're going to nick half my presentation. But exactly, the right thing. So the business vision is really important internal, so that everyone knows where they want the business to go to. And if you bring up people into your organisation as people you collaborate with, you need to understand about what you want to do with the business. So that's mega important. And then the third bit is the personal vision. And it is exactly what it is. It's all personal, and each one of us has got a different personal vision. 3 years ago, when after I made that decision about not being transactional and living my client vision, living and breathing my client vision for every minute of the day, the upshot was that loads of business. I've got loads of business. And anyone seen the Simon Sinek video with the why?
Start with why.
Yeah, we start with why. The golden circle. Very much that sort of kind of synergy with that. Around, I didn't care about, and that was one of the things that I'd watched that had really transformed me actually. That was probably the video, the golden circle, that got me onto personal development. And it just clicked with me completely. But your personal, so for me, 3 years ago, my personal vision, we were talking about this in the car page, you weren't me up there about what my Porsche fund went towards, but my personal vision, after everything I went through, was a Porsche fund. So it's kind of, I earn money, what I earn for us to live on, anything else extra, and actually I run a specific course. I said that any money from this course is going to go towards my Porsche fund and not the house fund. And that was my personal vision. That's what got me out of bed every morning, that's what drove me to doing an extra bit of content, doing extra events, doing videos, all that sort of content drove me to doing consistent content. It was my own personal vision of that Porsche fund. As it turned out, that Porsche fund ended up paying for a very expensive heating and an insulation system around the house. No, it's good.
Can't drive that though, can you?
Can't drive that. I can't drive that, but my baby's warm, with the house. We moved into an old house, we bought an old house, and the first winter we realised the heat just evaporated. Before it was an old person that lived just in the downstairs area. So it was a very expensive system we wanted to put in, so my Porsche fund went towards that, which is fine. But it was my personal vision. And everyone has got their own personal vision. And also, be mindful that if you employ people, there's something that's got them out of bed to come and work for you that morning. If you use outsourced stuff, so I don't employ any people direct, but I've got people, say that. Now we've done the people's place, we're starting to employ people, but everyone else is outsourced. And even the people that you outsource, there's a reason what gets them out of bed. They've got their own personal vision. But it's personal, and it shouldn't be shared with anyone other than really, probably, the love of your life that it probably affects most, But you don't even to them, but be aware that, whether there's someone that comes in here and does the cleaning, there's some reason why they come in a few hours to clean the stuff in here. The girl's behind even though she doesn't smile that much, there's a girl behind the counter. There's something that's driving her, personal vision that's driving her to Everyone's got their own personal vision, and it's very important, I think, that also that if you haven't got a real clear personal vision, you need to get one. We talk about that, about what's your why. And everyone thinks, well, it's got to be a why for my business. I want to change the world. I want to make a difference to people. I want to inspire everyone. But actually, my personal vision is never related to that. And I won't share with you what my personal vision is, because it's my personal vision now, which drives me. So if you haven't got a real clear one, then I'll say get one. Because it's something that gets you out of bed every morning, drive. And that's the thing that, especially in business, that makes it tick over. Like, why do I do, you know, I do so much content, but why do I can miss a day? Well, no, I can't, because if I do, then my personal vision, you know. And you're right about this, so when your client vision comes up, so when you live and breathe your client vision, you don't need to worry about your business vision and your personal vision, because they will come. Everything I do, every conversation, if you ask me a question here, I will ask it as well as I can to inspire you to do more effective and implement effective marketing strategies. And by doing that constantly, what happens is, which I didn't know at the time actually, but I've realised over the years, which is a nice side bit actually, is that by living and breathing and giving support and help and not asking for that money. So when people go, oh, can I have an hour with you? Can I just buy you a cup of coffee with you just to ask you a few things? I don't think, right, I'm going to charge you a strategy session. You know, I'll send you an invoice and you can book a strategy session with me. I don't go into that cell. I just do. And then what happens is, and if anyone's seen in my videos, when people ask me marketing questions and I answer them through videos, I give a lot of detail there. And you might think, and a lot of people do, I tend to get this from business coaches, tend to say to me a lot, but you just told them how to do it. But you know what? They can go and try. Because then when they come back and they try and they realise it's bloody difficult to actually implement it, they then put their hand up and say, Scott, look, I need to talk to you. What is the next stage and how much it costs to go? And I never have a conversation with anyone about my fees. Never. Because I've already got the leverage now. So I've already shown, one, that I'm the expert, specialist, and two, that I'm not chasing the money. So no, I'm not chasing the money for them, I'm just after a quick buck. And so every conversation I have is around my client vision, which ends up in creating my business vision. And then my business vision achieves my personal vision. Gives me the money to do whatever I want to do in my personal vision. And when you do it, when you have a real clear personal vision, and you work out how much money you need to do that personal vision, it might be nothing. You might be able to work for, be a volunteer. I imagine this is what people do, you know, a lot of volunteer work. You think, well, what do they get out of it? And two, their personal vision is probably more about making people feel good and doing some good and trying to be one little cog in changing the world and doing some good. And
I can attest to that.
they get masses of value for it.
My entire job is voluntary. So it is entirely based on the warm fuzzy and the desire to try and change the world.
It doesn't have to be financial. So I'm going to break it up. Rather than giving you this, I'm actually going to break it up to the 3 sections. So you can actually go ahead and do your own client vision if you want to. But it is a bit, again, when I say about giving the answers to people going through this, I use the example a lot of times in my workshops, and I might use it with the plumber, something like that, or the washing machine. If your washing machine breaks down and you're a bit like me and you think, the first thing you think is, oh, I can fix that myself. Even though your wife says, no, you can't. Yes, I can. I'll just watch a couple of YouTube videos. I'm sure it's quite easy. And you tend to do that. And then when you go to try and fix it, you realise it isn't that easy. But you watch the video exactly how to explain how to do it. It's like the Haynes manuals with cars. You know, you've got the manual there, you've got the YouTube video, yet you still can't get that bloody nut off or the brake caliper. There's always one thing. And you know what? You tend to go back to the expert who you trust. We talk about trust equity a lot. You go back to the person you trust. And a great example of this is we go back to the positive vibes bit actually. One of the parts of that of opening the CAP is I've never run a CAP before, and I'm not going to run the CAP now. We're going to set it up, the CAP part of it. But I want to know the workings of setting up a CAP in the future. And so I found this company that gives so much great content around setting up your coffee shop. They give loads of great content. My first thought was, how do they make money from actually this? There's no clear one. Until there's a bit of information where it asked me for my email address and whatever. And then I got an email I didn't mind because they gave me so much value, you know, and it was valuable, the next bit of content that I needed. So I put my email address. The next email I got from them was, one, the content that they promised, but then two, a link to where you can buy all the equipment that you need to set up a coffee shop. And the company that gives all that content is a company that sells all the coffee machine, I don't know all the names yet, machines that you need to do it. And so their client vision is really just giving you all the tools, all the information you need to make that decision. But that straight away, they've gone into my top of the references that we need to refer back to. And do you know what? We need to go and buy that equipment. I guarantee I'll probably end up going there because the client vision has allowed me to have trust in them. So let's break it up. So this is my one again. So we go back. I inspire business owners to achieve anything they want through developing a success mindset and implementing effective marketing strategies. Now there's three parts, and the main one, you can see, is the who. So I put it in the red to make it easier. So I haven't got a right on the wall, which is lucky, isn't it? Really? And the one is who. Who is your ideal client base? And actually, this business owners is very generic. But when I'm doing when I do a presentation in front of, and it's all one industry, so it's all coaches, I'll actually change it to say I inspire coaches. And this goes back, I always remember this, it's like the insurance adverts, and I tell you, you should do it really well. I don't remember, I'm just looking at the age group, you might quite be younger than me, but anyway. But you used to have the insurance adverts, and the first thing they come and going, are you aged between 50 and 55 and suffer from high blood pressure? And then my dad, or my granddad at the time when I was a little kid, so goes, shush, everyone shush, this is about me. This advert's about me, shush. There was no rewind them days, was there? So you had to be quiet, or that was it. No rewind band, and they were allowed to hit you, so it was quite a which you don't want to be in, They were the days, I hear you say, but anyway. Kids have got it easier, but you had to be quiet, and they did it brilliant because they pinpointed their client base straight away. This is about me, everyone shut up, this is about me. And the personal adverts were great at doing it because they really related to the mum that struggled with, they just bought their, and if anyone got kids in there, when you buy the clothes, you buy your new clothes for your kid, of course they want to go out and show their friends, and of course they're going to do kid stuff and get dirty. But then they're going to come in with it, and you're going to go, oh, it's only 2 minutes old, and you already ruined it, and stuff like that. So the personal adverts really related to their ideal target. I mean, they got started a little bit by being old sexist, and all that sort of lucky, but they knew.
They were the first to feature a man doing the laundry.
Well, yeah,
with that young skinhead.
But yeah, true. Yeah. But they really targeted their ideal audience in that instance. So your first bit about the who is very much. So when someone asks, what do you do? Okay. And Chris, when I asked you what do you do, you said an accountant, first of all. And then you try to explain it. If you can get your client vision down to 15 seconds or less, and when people ask you what you do, you reply with your client vision, you attract people straight away to you. Because when you say an accountant, or I say a marketing consultant, you've already made your mind up what that means. And actually, if you've had a negative experience with a marketing consultant, and I turn around and say, yeah, I'm a marketing consultant, you're like, first thought is, yeah, not another one, I've already had one of them that stitched me up. But when people say to me, what do you do? I actually say it, I inspire business owners. So really identifying who your ideal target audience is in that first bit is really important. And you know what, the people, a lot of people come back to me and say, yeah, but if I say it's only like coaches, for instance, and then I come across other businesses, if they're not your ideal clients, then it doesn't matter. And the people that are your ideal clients, when you say your client vision, they're the ones that go, that's interesting, tell me more. Or they're in a different place when you say it. If anyone goes, do you know what, they're not your ideal client, move on. So that's the first bit. And just I'm going to assume that kind of with the micro niching down, is it really? Do you understand who your ideal client is and done that piece of work about? Yeah.
Sort of. Cough.
The question for you is, if anyone asked you, if you ask yourself that question, who's your ideal client? If I asked you that now, and you said anyone, you need to slap yourself.
Yeah.
If you say, oh, any man, you need to slap yourself again. If you say any woman, you need to slap yourself twice. You need to really, no. Facebook, a great example of they micro niche down right at the start. They've never had to sell their product to grandparents. Yet grandparents want to be on Facebook in their droves. But initially it was just Harvard. You had to be a Harvard college student. They wouldn't even allow the other colleges there. And then it was the colleges that, oh, we want to come in, and then they let them use it, and they went out that way. They very much started off saying it was only Harvard college students that can use it festival. And so as a result, they've never had to sell to our generation, they've never had to sell to the grandparents, to do a big marketing campaign to get grandparents to use Facebook, because they knew very early on that as they get one generation onto it, the other generation will be pulled into it because of the content that we put. So the more you can micro niche down, and when someone says, what do I do? Because if your ideal client is someone, let's say, right, a man between 21 and 25, like Andrew here, and Andrew goes, oh, that's me. It's instant, I want to hear more. The second part is the what. And I very much call this what the end part of the journey is. So, alright, so I'll grab it so I can use paper. So have we got any, let's get a good example, coaches, we've got coaches, haven't we? Coach. We use Jill as an example. There'll be a journey, Jill, wouldn't there, as a coach? There'll be a journey your clients go on to get an end result. So they've got an end result.
Unless, of course, you're travelling on Southern Train.
Yeah. So you've got an end result that you have, and it's if they work with you, not if they work with you for 10 minutes, because if someone who works with you 10 minutes and someone who works with you for 6 months is a bit different. But there'll be an end result that you want to do within your thing. So mine is to achieve anything they want that takes more than just a 10-minute strategy session. It takes quite a big process. So it's the end result we want them to go into. Because by doing that, people buy into the dream. When you go on holiday, I guarantee you, all of you would choose a destination before you choose the forms of travel. And your destination might be subjective to a form of travel. So for instance, if you don't like flying, you're probably not going to look at the Maldives, for instance. So there might be that, but you tend to want the destination first. And that'll be the bit that you dream it. And then you work out the details afterwards. So your client vision, when you talk about what it is that you do, what result do you give your clients? And whatever business you're in. And even if you, someone I worked with recently, CCTVs, they do CCTVs, saying, well, we just put CCTVs up. That's not the end result. The end result is actually around keeping them safe, keeping their premises safe. And the other by result was that it actually, the insurance companies were happy as well when people got CCTVs. But their end result was putting a system in place to keep them safe and keep them secure. The CCTV was just a form of method of doing that, to achieving that. So whatever result, I say like holidays, the end result, and then afterwards you go on a journey. So with Jill, the end result, should we put you on the spot, Jill, what the end result might be?
What, for a client?
Yeah.
Well, it is fulfilling their dreams, so you have to find out at the beginning what they want to achieve, and everybody's going to be different. So
there's a journey where they start, so you have a process of if they come at the very start, the end result.
And a classic example is I haven't had a holiday for 5 years. That's where they're stressed and all over. So we work towards that.
by having that bit, that end result in there, one, that's the bit that people will gravitate to. And then you work out the details, and then after that you can work out, well, where are they on the journey where you can help them? And actually it might be that someone has already done a lot of personal development, a lot of business coaching already. They just need that final bit with someone talented and good looking like yourself. So I'm getting brownie points while I'm doing this. And they might just need that end bit. They might have already done this part of the journey. But by having that client vision, the end result, that's what attracts the people. And ironically, the subject of that is that that end journey is the bit they'll pay the most expensive for. And they'll see most valuable. So your what is about what is the final result. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then the third part should be about how. Now this is where I see a lot of people when they explain how they do it, that they lose you. You either, they certainly can't get it out there within 15 seconds. It takes them 2 days to explain it. Have you ever had them conversations with people where you literally 5-10 minutes and you walk away and you just think, I still don't understand what it is they do. I had it once with 10 minutes, this woman was talking for 10 minutes, you give them 3 minutes, you took 10 minutes, a meeting recently. And Andrew next to me turned and said, what does she do? I just haven't got a clue. I've lost the will to live now.
I went one further than that. Somebody did a 10-minute presentation, and at the end he didn't say his name, he didn't say his company. He went around the houses, didn't have a clue what it was, and you could see everybody was kind of like this. So he said, okay, any questions? What's your name and what do you do? And I was the only one, everyone was like, yeah, what is it? I've got a clue. It's a shame.
So on this part, it's explaining how you do it for a very short sentence. And remember, you don't need details at the time, because everyone's going to be different on that journey. But what you can do is give people, like I do, through developing a success mindset, because turns out that's been a big part of my developing, which is why I get introduced a lot of times as a coach or a mentor when I say, no, I'm not that. It's not a tool set I had, but it's because it's about a success mindset. The financial goal journal was born out of because I put in a morning routine for myself and an evening routine to help me with my success mindset. So that's a big part.
Can I suggest that it is absolutely a tool set you have?
A what?
It is absolutely a tool set you have, otherwise you wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
This whole thing about having to be accredited as a coach and all that.
Okay.
It's the right mindset, two ears, one mouth.
Anyway. But that is a big part of it, you know, so achieving a success mindset and then implementing effective marketing strategies. And that starts a conversation. When someone says to me, what do you do? If I know I'm in front of the right ideal client that's struggling with their marketing, particularly in today's world of marketing where it has changed, and I've been a bit fortunate, me and Beige are very much from the same camp about how you should use social media and marketing. I was banging on about this about 4 years ago. In the last 2 years, marketing, I kept saying about the marketing world is going to change, and it really has changed now. So that's good. So it really kind of gets people going, well, that's interesting. Tell me a little bit more. And the people that don't, they're not my ideal clients. And so when people say to me, what do you do? So I inspire business owners to achieve anything they want through developing a success mindset and implementing effective marketing strategies. How long does that take? Probably 10 seconds now, isn't it? And it will your client vision, by the way, will change over time as well. But you can change it for different rooms. And if you've got different products and different vision, the vision will be different. At the moment, we're doing some work already on the positive vibes place, because that's not the right vision, client vision for that, because that's for coaches and consultants that want that. They've watched the videos, they've been on the courses, but they just want that extra bit of help putting it together and simplifying everything to put it all together. So that doesn't work for the positive vibes for those. So we have to come up with a separate client vision for that. But the same mentality, we've gone, right, what the person, people involved have all got their own personal visions, and the bit we've put out the business vision, which all the business targets, all the 3-year target, and all that stuff, all the financial planning part of that. So everyone's clear on what the business vision is going to be. But then everyone's going to be clear on what the client vision is. And I use outsourcing staff to implement a lot of the social media marketing strategies we do with our clients. And they're all very aware of this. When we have our debriefings and there's any sort of confusion around really are we doing the best for our clients, I get this out. So look, are we inspiring our business owners? You know, are we actually implementing effective marketing strategies? So we live, you know, that part of the affecting people's lives business absolutely lives in there. And I live this every single day. So if you ask me a single question, if someone asks me on social media, you know, a question, one of my videos that I do, answering questions, everything I do is about inspiring business owners. That's the client vision.
Cool.
Questions. Did it make sense, first of all?
Yeah.
Yes.
I normally do this in a 2-day strategy session, but that's pretty much the bones of what I do. I didn't want to just go on the bit about the 3 things and actually share with you the mechanics of it, because I think it's very important to understand that. But I would change it when people say, what do you do? And our Essex one, Claire mentioned it about, I really changed her. So Claire's a mindfulness co-creator. And so when I work with coaches and they say I'm a business coach, I'm a life coach, I say, well, you're not just, this coaching is a tool to get you there. But what is it you are? You're not a coach. And business coaching, for instance, has got real negative undertones because, you know, someone can go on a 2-day free course and call themselves a business coach. And businesses know, you know, it has had negative, overused and negative undertones. So just by saying you're a coach doesn't say what you do. And so if you can get your client vision down within 15 seconds max, when people say, what do? You answer it with your client vision. You'll never use words, I'm an accountant then, or we're a different accountant, because you risk of getting associated with people, oh, they know this a little bit, you know. And then you find you have to explain it even more so, which actually then goes, then you're probably feeling to yourself, oh, I'm overselling it now, I'm becoming a salesman, I'm being up at me. But actually, when people ask me what I do, that's what I say, and then I just let it drop.
I'll just stick with penny pinching when you crunch it. Have you tried to shorten yours?
Yes. I did for a little while, and I say because it always evolved, and then I added the success mindset and actually extended it again. One, I feel I can get it out within 10 seconds. And it's got to have them 3 elements. It's got to have the who, the what, the result, and then a brief synopsis of how you do it. Again, it's not the result. You know, the detail was when it's like going, say, like your destination. So you get your destination, then you go, right, how am I going to get there? I'm going to go by plane.
The only reason I asked the question was you've got the and in there, implementing the effective marketing strategy at the end.
Yeah.
Because that's 2 hows in my mind rather than 1. I was thinking, could you get it down to 1?
I was so used to it, but I added the success mindset, and the
I like the success mindset. I didn't like
but the pure reason is it attracts the right people to me. So a lot of people will distract, or not think, but actually the right people.
It's almost like a filtering when you're first meeting someone, effectively.
It's pre-qualified people.
Yeah.
I say when I'm in a room I'm always mindful of doing some research before I go to a room or network event like that to see who the majority of the people are. If I get asked to talk, I ask what people are going to be in the room. Because if it's all coaches and consultants, then the first bit I'll go is I inspire coaches and consultants.
Well, that was going to be my comment, because
And my website does say, if you go, actually the new website that's be launching in a couple of weeks actually says coaches and consultants, because they're really the only ones I want to be working one-to-one with now.
So that's really your inner generic client vision, almost. Because even because the other thing that's quite generic is the achieve whatever they want.
Yes.
So I just wondered how that lands with people, and do you actually use exactly that expression each time you use it?
That's fairly new again. It used to be, if you look at some other ones, my business card's still on it, it says to get actual results.
Yeah.
What's happened is that's been used a few times now in other things. It's also changed by the type of people that I want to work with.
Yeah.
So when it was kind of broad, and I was really looking for a lot of clients, it was, you know, get actual results was quite attractive to pull people in. Now I'm really only interested in coaching consultants that have done all the other courses, that have been on the Daniel Precinct courses, that have been on all the other courses, you know, and still missing that, well, you know, you've been in the workshop, still missing that one thing. They're the people, and actually for them, that last little bit of step is the achieving anything they want.
Yeah. Yeah, I can certainly see it for that audience, but it's interesting to see you're using quite a generic. Because for your clients, that's probably less generic.
It's also remember what I said about the products as
Yeah.
well. So not only each business, but each product might have a different client vision. Now, very soon, you picked up on that Achieve Anything, but very soon I'm going to be opening up the registration to my Achieve Anything program. So it's a link that's going to be trying to that, which is why your vision changes, your client vision changes.
Cool.
You
I
last-
parked in a 2-hour spot.
Oh, wait.
I'm afraid I have to
Well, I can't do anything
move
about
the
that.
car.
But
I'm sorry.
any other questions? No?
Well,
Thank you very much.